And welcome everyone to this special broadcast tonight from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. It's Beach District High School football action as the Frank W. Cox Falcons, with a record of 7-1 overall, take on the Kempsville Chiefs, who check in at 7-1 overall. We thank you for tuning in tonight as our broadcast features two of the best teams in Virginia Beach jockeying for playoff positioning out of Region 5A. I am Matthew Hatfield, pleased to be with you. We got Jeff Fatma and Spencer Kane on camera. James Timmons, our graphics coordinator. Nick Sentai keeping us afloat as well tonight, as we have two teams trying to get that number 2 seed in Region 5A, as Green Run, the only unbeaten left in Virginia Beach, and in fact just one of 3 undefeated teams in public school, high school football across Hampton Roads, along with Oscar Smith and Phoebus. Those two collide next Saturday, by the way, at Darling Stadium. Oscar Smith in a big battle tonight with Western Branch over in Chesapeake. But nonetheless, Green Run likely going to get the number 1 seed in Region 5A. The winner of this game has the inside track on the number 2 seed, and these two teams have been surging. Kempsville with 7 straight wins since a season opening loss to Green Run. They're averaging 36.9 points per game under Coach Darrell Cherry, as that famed Cliff Noble's The Horse Song plays as the Kempsville Chiefs take the field tonight under Coach Cherry, with their captains, the likes of Karan Boyd, number 4, the Duke commit, number 5, Naquan Washington Pierce, a.k.a. Snooty the Bus, number 6, Isaiah Cias, one of their team leaders in sacks, and Sean Sanders, number 55. And on the other side of the field, the Cox Falcons, who are on a hot streak themselves, 6 consecutive wins under Coach Alan Fenica, a Pro Football Hall of Famer who started at LSU and also in the NFL with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fenica's Falcons putting up 30.6 points per game, 12 points per game allowed, and their stars, including Jordan Cooper, a very shifty, dynamic wide receiver who's got 11 touchdowns from scrimmage this year, 7 rushing, 4 receiving on the year for Jordan Cooper, and he has been a threat all year long with those 7 rushing TDs and 4 touchdown catches. They've also got Gerard Johnson on defense with 8 sacks, a junior with a bunch of scholarship offers for Coach Fanica's group. At 7-1, they've turned things around. Really, their comeback win over Bayside in Game 3 triggered this hot streak that they have been on, where in their 6-game winning streak, Cox's defense has stepped it up to another level, not allowing more than 14 points in any contest and giving up just 7.8 per game in that stretch. Some key injuries tonight for both squads. For Kempsville, their starting quarterback Noah Lee's got a wrist injury. He's going to remain out. No status on when he'll be back in the lineup. They're also missing one of their pass rushers in Kason Spates, got a lower back spinal injury. But still, this Kempsville defense has been mighty strong all year long. And for Cox, their starting left tackle not going tonight. He's not suiting up, so we'll see what they do as they try to patch things together up front. That is the strength and specialty of Coach Fanica, leading the way up front with his trench work, if you will, for the Falcons. Brian Graham and Tyler Noe and a lot of veteran assistants. Jimmy DiNardo, a former head coach on that Cox staff as well. So you know that group will be well schooled, and they've only turned the football over 4 times this year, have the Falcons. Kempsville with a very strong running game, and they have just been puncturing teams with that ground attack, and they've got Snooty back in the lineup. Naquan Washington Pierce, we referenced him coming into tonight. He's just shy of 1,000 yards for the season as he checks in with 959 yards on the ground and 15 touchdowns on the 107 attempts for Naquan Washington Pierce. So we're just about underway here for this game, and our sponsor tonight, Chicho's Pizza, going to bring us this contest. Also sponsors making this possible for us here. We've got the likes of CHKD Sports Medicine, Dairy Queen, Dollar Bank, Dollar Tree, John's Tax Service, One Life Fitness, Paint and Gain Sports, Shine Time, Power Wash and Paint Professionals, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Vault Athletics, and Zoop Eatery. If you're coming out to the Sportsplex, you give yourself a chance to get some nifty coupons and neat discounts on some of these fine establishments around our area tonight. Got a bit of a breeze here, and the temperature is rather on the cool side as we are counting down the last few days of October, a 62-degree temperature at the moment. And it will get a little nippier as we move along things tonight, as we're a few days away from Halloween, and it'll be the Kempsville Chiefs receiving the football first, as Cox will be kicking it off here. Kicker for the Falcons, none other than Sam Braidwood, a junior. And we've got a whistle before things get started. This Cox team on the year with 913 yards rushing, their opponents with just 495 yards on the ground. Also 21 rushing scores for Cox, 8 TD runs for the opposition. Braidwood's kick is off, and it's going to be fielded by the Chiefs. No, it won't. It'll actually go into the end zone for a touchback. So we are underway here at the Sportsplex tonight. Glad you are tuned in with us. Some other Beach District action as it's Bayside at Princess Anne, Green Run hosting Tallwood, First Colonial hosting Lancetown, Salem at Kellum, Ocean Lake's the one idle team tonight in the Beach District. Some other very pivotal matchups across the Tidewater landscape, including that Oscar Smith at Western Branch showdown in Chesapeake. But we are glad you are tuned in to us tonight here on our YouTube channel and the Virginia Beach Sportsplex website. You can always see some of the neat action that is archived up there, be it football, field hockey, soccer, you name it, by going to beachsportsplex.com. All right, so Kempsville will have the football first with C.J. Spence, their quarterback, tossing it to Naquan Washington Pierce. It's a reverse and a possible pass. Raleigh McIntosh thinking about it. He's going to uncork one, and it's going to be caught by the Chiefs, stepping out of bounds for the Kempsville Chiefs. It's going to be number 3, Darius Langley, the senior, catching it from McIntosh on the trick play. And with Langley hauling that in, it's going to be worth 22 yards, and Kempsville's got themselves a first down right out of the chute on the first play from scrimmage. They toss it to the bus, and the wheels on the bus didn't go round and around. Instead, he gave it to McIntosh, the team leader on defense for Kempsville with 6 interceptions on the year. So Kempsville going to the air first here. They've been known to run for 200, 300 yards this year. Now the snap, not ready for it, is Spence, who's going to lose a handful of yards, and Gerard Johnson is there to bring him down for a loss behind the line of scrimmage. Wearing number 51 tonight is Gerard Johnson. If you've got yourselves an official roster in the stands, he's listed as number 6, but he is number 51, the big-time talented junior defensive lineman. And that's going to lose a bundle for Kempsville. In fact, probably about a loss of 10 officially for Spence to make it 2nd and 20 from the 32. Third play of the series now for the Chiefs. Behind that very hefty, strong offensive line. Headlining things for them from the left tackle spot, number 50, Zaire Dargan. Up the middle, run's going to pick up a few as Washington Pierce is able to get some yardage on that. Stop on the play for Cox made by number 22 for the Falcons, and that is none other than Max Palmerton, sophomore linebacker. So about 4 yards for Washington Pierce. That's going to make it 3rd and 16 from their own 36. Four down linemen for the Cox defense. We'll see if they bring pressure here or drop back on what looks to be a passing situation for Kempsville, and it is. Spence, little screen pass out to Karan Boyd, and he's met immediately by the Cox linebacker Palmerton with the tackle for loss. And in fact, a loss of 5 for Karan Boyd, the Duke commit. So Kempsville, after getting that first down on the razzle-dazzle play, it's going to be 4th and about 21 from their own 31. Jordan Cooper waiting for this Kempsville punt. Booming it away for the Chiefs. Number 33, Morgan Hurst. It's going to take a hop that is not so favorable for the Chiefs, and Cox has it in Kempsville territory. And a little bit of some jawing here and trying to get his teammate under control. Dominic Thibault wisely trying to prevent anything from escalating. But that Kempsville punt from Hurst, who's been perfect this year on extra points, we might add, is only going to be about 11 yards. So Cox is in business here with 9:26 to go in the opening quarter from the Kempsville 42. We'll call it an 11-yard punt. So our first look at the Cox offense tonight now. Quarterback by Gage Treffery, the junior trigger man. He's going deep down the left sideline. Covered by C.J. Spence and somehow pulling it in for Cox. It's going to be Dominic Thibault as he pounds his chest with a huge reception from Treffery. Gage threw it up for his jump ball man, Thibault, and the senior rewards him with a huge gain. It's going to be placed at about the looks like it's going to be right at the 15-yard line, maybe inside the 15. Nope, official's going to say it's a 27-yard pickup to the 15. Dominic Thibault, who came into tonight for Cox with 24 receptions for 216 yards and 3 TDs. Handoff, stretching it left. Spence getting him out of bounds. It's going to be number 9, Bubba Anderson on the run. We'll see how much the Falcons say run, Bubba, run tonight under Coach Faneca. They also got Jordan Cooper in the backfield. That's going to be a nice pickup of about 7, it looks like, for Anderson, as he got it inside the 10. And there's going to be a face mask on Kempsville that will mark this half the distance, it does look like, towards the end of the play. So that will take it from about the 7 to maybe the 4 or 3 yard line, as they will go half the distance to the goal. They'll actually put it at the 4. So we'll officially mark it as a 3-yard infraction. First and goal from the Kempsville 4. You're going to look at that offensive line. You see 75, 55, 50, 51, and 85. 51 is Gerard Johnson at right guard. Handoff to Anderson, met right away by that Kempsville defensive front. And big number 51 having something to say about that one. Carlos Eisler Jr., 5'11", but he's a big fella, and he brings down Anderson for about a loss of a yard, maybe 2, back to the 5. Second and goal now from the 5. And we've got a whistle. As the officials huddle up here with 8:47 to go in our opening period. Second and goal now. Rolling right, Treffery. Pass is going to be juggled and incomplete. Jordan Cooper could not hang on a pass that he probably brings in 9 times out of 10. Right there, hit him in the hands. Incomplete. So Kempsville would like nothing better than to hold the Falcons to a field goal try. On the year, Braidwood is 1 of 5 on field goals, a long of 26. And we're actually showing 4th down by the sticks. So I guess that was not an automatic first down on that play to begin once they got inside the 15 rather. So here it is, 4th down play officially. Toss play. Cooper's not going to get in as he's tackled short of the goal line. Kempsville defense holding. That stop made by number 21 for Kempsville, DeJean Smith, the freshman. So a turnover on downs as Cooper is stopped at about the 2. 3-yard pickup. So back comes the Kempsville offense onto the field with 8:35 to go in our first quarter. Smith with a huge tackle on that toss play. I wonder if Cox was a little unsure of the down as well, because we thought it was third down, and then we looked over and the marker said fourth down. Bad snap, goes into the end zone. Spence gets it and gets rid of it quickly as Johnson was bearing down, and it's not going to be a live football. It's a good thing that was a forward pass, incomplete. If that was a live football behind him like a lateral, that could have resulted in a safety or touchdown and been major disaster for Coach Cherry's Chiefs. Incomplete here. So 2nd and 10 now for the Kempsville offense. Handoff up the middle. Muscling his way forward for some positive yardage before he's tackled. It's going to be number 20 for the Chiefs. That is Justin Joyner, senior who had the go-ahead score in their 14-10 escape against Salem before the bye week. Joyner bringing it out to about the 8-yard line, we'll call it. So a gain of about 6. 3rd and a long 3, short 4 here. 2 receivers to each side for Spence. Keep an eye on Nathaniel Clark in the slot, the tight end wide receiver. They hand it off to Joyner. Nothing doing as 3 white shirts are there for Cox. Among those white shirts, number 5, Josh Walton, a junior linebacker with the stuff. And it's going to be no gain, bringing back on the punting unit for Kempsville. So a 3 and out for the Chiefs after getting that first in on the first play from scrimmage, a 22-yard pass from McIntosh to Darius Langley. And now they're punting from their own end zone, and they've got to make sure the snap is on point to avoid a safety or giving Cox even a chance to block the punt. Hurst gets the snap, low kick. It's going to take a hop at about the 25 to the 30. Well, it'll be right inside the 30 at the 29. It'll look like they'll be marked there. So about a 20-yard punt for the Chiefs there, maybe about 21 yards if they do mark it at the 30. So Cox will start at the 42, their first series, and their second possession with 7:01 to go in the opening stanza at the Kempsville 30-yard line. Thank you for tuning in tonight here from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. And we've got a timeout by the Kempsville defense, so while we got a chance to do that, we'll take a timeout as well and hear from Chicho's Pizza here at the
Earn $300 with everything checking from Dollar Bank. Then do your thing.
And we welcome you back here to the Sportsplex. Matt Hatfield here with you as the Kempsville Chiefs just punted it away, 3 and out, 7:01 to go in our first quarter. Falcons and Chiefs are scoreless here in Virginia Beach. Three receivers to the left, one in motion. It's Jordan Cooper going behind the quarterback, handoff to Bubba Anderson up the middle for a couple of yards as the Kempsville defense is able to bring him down quickly. Stop on that play made by number 51 for Kempsville on defense, and that is Carlos Eisler Jr. We'll call it a gain of 2, 2nd and 8 from the 28. As this is the type of game Alan Finneca wants to play between the line of scrimmage and control the field position. Need to come away with points though after having that golden opportunity inside the 10 on their opening possession. Treffery gets the snap, looking right. Going to throw a bomb to Jordan Cooper. Can he make up for it? Yes, he does. It's going to be hauled in. Touchdown for Jordan Cooper, the playmaker. And the Falcons are hanging with Mr. Cooper tonight. 6-0 lead as they strike first with 6:14 to go in the opening frame. 28-yard TD pass from Treffery to Cooper gets Cox on the board first. Perfectly placed football, and Cooper had the speed, the hands to get it done, making amends for that drop earlier on what could have been a scoring strike for the Falcons. And here's Braidwood on for the extra point. Kick is through, so Cox takes a 7-0 lead on Kempsville here with 6:14 to go in the opening frame. Let's hear quickly from Zoop Eatery.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like...
And we're back here, so you saw there from Zoop Eatery. Go pay them a visit in Virginia Beach. They've got all kinds of goodies for you all, whether it is fresh salads, made-to-order sandwiches, soups, and they're all served with a hunk of bread and dessert. There's something for the whole crew at Zoop Eatery. Cox with a 7-0 lead on Kempsville with 6:14 to go in the first quarter. And Braidwood kicks it off back into the end zone for a touchback. Jordan Cooper with the first scoring play of the night for Cox as he hauls in a 28-yard pass from Gage Treffery. And just like that, Falcons thinking about extending their winning streak to 7 games and move to 8-1 on the year. Kempsville in a deficit, which they were in a couple weeks ago before taking the lead late in the fourth quarter against Salem. And now their third possession is going to start with less than stellar field position again at their own 20. They began at their own 42, at their own 2, and now their own 20 as Cox is dominating the field position right now. Naquan Washington Pierce up the gut. Gets away from a tackler. Now he's going to stiff arm Cooper and try to rip away for a first down, which he does. Naquan Washington Pierce as he has 4 digits rushing yards in sight on the year. That big run from the bus is going to be up to the 15-yard line. Check that, a 15-yard gain up to the 35-yard line. And that's a first down, second of the night for the Chiefs to go with that 22-yard pass play on a razzle-dazzle to open things. Riley McIntosh to Darius Langley. Back to work between the tackles. Washington Pierce patiently waiting for his blockers. He's going to get about 8 yards before he is tripped up on that one. Stopped by Max Palmerton, who has been on the bulk of the tackles to this point. Gain of about 8 there to the 43. So Washington Pierce up to 9 yards a pop, 3 rushes for 27 yards. We mentioned coming in, he needed just 41 to get to 1,000, so 2 more runs of 7 yards will get him there for the season. Shotgun here for Spence, hands it off to McIntosh on a sweep, and he's going to get away from a couple of tacklers. Check that, that's not McIntosh, that's going to be Karan Boyd, and we've got a flag on the play. This could be a holding and bring this back for Kempsville. So it looks like one of the Cox defenders pointing in that direction. That defender being Aiden Manning, number 50, the senior lineman. who just recently reached the end zone in a win over First Colonial in a 42-0 shutout, and that's going to be a hold on Kempsville. It's going to come right there at the 41. So this will back them up to about their own 31 to make it 2nd and 14. You know they want to run away from Gerard Johnson, who was the left defensive end on your screen for Cox, number 51. They can run to the left side, which it's away from Kempsville's right side. It could yield success. Boyd's in motion, and Spence not ready for the snap again. That's the third time tonight. The snap and the communication has not been good, and it's going to be a Cox takeaway as they recover the fumble. Looked like number 17 was in on it first. We'll credit that to Andre Cousins for the time being. Andre Cousins, we think, did recover that football, number 17, junior linebacker for Cox. So a turnover on Kempsville, and Cox has excellent field position again. That one's going to go on Spence, just not ready for the snap. And they're at the 28-yard line with 4:25 to go in the opening frame. Third straight possession in Kempsville territory for Cox. They're going for the deep shot again with T-Bolt. He's going to bring it in, but out of bounds. As they're showing some of those tricks off from passing league, T-Bolt and Cooper, these receivers against the smaller corners of Kempsville, trying to test some good DBs back there for Kempsville, but some younger ones as the likes of DeJohn Smith back there, and even, I think that was Jermaine Bland, have not been that tested, if you will. Smith, a ninth grader who's got a promising future, and it looks like we're going to get roughing the passer on Kempsville as the officials will get set to make the call. What a job Coach Cherry has done at Kempsville. They had that long losing streak of more than 60 games, which was the longest in the state. Beat Bayside when they snapped it a few years ago. They made the playoffs last year, advancing to the regional final, losing a heartbreaker to Green Run after leading in that game, but it's going to be a penalty on the Chiefs, their third infraction of the night, and that gives Cox the football at about the 13-yard line. We think they'll mark it. They're going to actually mark it closer. Looks like it's going to be at the 5. At the 5. So 2 penalties, it looks like, to give them first and goal from the Kempsville 5. Their first 2 possessions begin at the 30-yard line and 42-yard line of the Chiefs. Couldn't have asked for a much better start for Allen Fanica. Maybe be up 10-0 or 14-0 had they scored in that first series. And it looks like the new right guard, as they've moved Gerard Johnson over to right tackle, doing some shuffling up front. That is number 50, of course, Aiden Manning, waving over, making a signal, and nothing's going to do on this play here as the Kempsville defense with Carlos Eisler ready to bring down the Cox ground game. I think that carry was by Jordan Cooper. Check that, number 2 rather, not Jordan Cooper. DJ Johns ran that football. Beg your pardon, senior tailback. First time we've called him out tonight as he gets no gain on that play. Coming in, Johns on the year with 99 attempts for 495 yards and 8 touchdowns. Most impressively, though, 32 first down runs. That's almost a third of his carries, as he is the chain mover in this Cox offense. Anderson back to the left of the quarterback, Treffry, gets the high snap, tosses it over to Jordan Cooper, tries to cut back inside, wheels it back out, and the Kempsville defense is ready to bring him down behind the line of scrimmage. Chiefs making a play with Isaiah Season on that stop. Check that, Xavier Clark, the freshman defensive back, number 8, in on that stop. It's going to be a good one. People remember the name Zeb Clark from years ago in the Beach District. Yes, there is relation there. And Cooper loses a bundle, about 8 on that loss. As you know, they want to get him the football. He is their prime playmaker. So 3rd and goal coming from the 13 now of the Chiefs. As we've ticked under 3 minutes to go in this very interesting first quarter. Matt Hatfield here with you on the call. We've got Spencer Kane and Jeff Fatma on camera. James Timmons our graphics coordinator. Snap to Treffry. Blitz coming to the blind side of him. He's going to get rid of it before the sack, and 2 defenders in coverage. Incomplete as the Kempsville secondary steps up there with McIntosh and a young man who, I'm not sure if he's down, caught a cramp, but he did a nice job in coverage. We'll shout him out in just a second. Number 8 in coverage, that's Xavier Clark, who was working the other side of the field a moment ago, and that time closing ground in a hurry. So incomplete for Treffry, and this is going to bring on a field goal try for the Falcons of about 30 yards. For that place kicker we talked about earlier, Sam Braidwood. Came into tonight with 44 kickoffs, a lot more than his field goal tries, 1 of 5 on the year in that department. So here's Braidwood from about 30 yards out with 2:32 to go in the first quarter. The snap, the hold, they're both there, and Braidwood splits the uprights. He's good. 30-yard field goal is good. Cox increases his lead to 10 points here with 2:28 to go in the first quarter. It's a treat if you're a Cox Falcon fan, and there's also treats when you go to Dairy Queen.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like the new guy picked up lunch. Went with the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. That's nice. A lineup of bold flavors like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger. It's a total of 5 premium burgers that are anything but boring. So you can make an impression.
Am I gonna get reimbursed?
Like a really good impression?
I got it. Lunch is
New guy just became burger guy. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
And we're back here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex with 2:28 to go in the first quarter. Cox with a 10-0 lead on Kempsville. Chiefs not used to deficits of this kind. They've won 7 consecutive coming into this matchup, but Cox coming off a shutout of First Colonial last week and carrying over that momentum from a 42-0 blanking of their rival Patriots. And this defense really controlling things. As Cox has had 3 trips inside the red zone. They've got 10 points. They certainly would have liked to have had 13 or 21 points, but you take what you can get here, and Kempsville has not been able to cross into Cox territory and threaten the red zone just yet in this contest. We do hear some of the Kempsville Chiefs fans doing their best Atlanta Braves impersonations since the Braves aren't back in the Fall Classic like they were a year ago when they beat the Houston Astros. Now it's up to their NL East counterpart, the Philadelphia Phillies, to try to do so tonight as Game 1 of the World Series begins. For those that have Fox TV, unfortunately yours truly does not have that due to some different circumstances that we won't discuss on this particular broadcast, and it's going to be a penalty on Kempsville here that backs them up a few yards, in fact 5 yards. That's their 5th flag of the night. Might be able to tell a little salty about that. I'll have to watch the World Series from an established nearby. Maybe one of our sponsors. You saw Dairy Queen earlier and trying to give the Cox defense a little bit of that blizzard attack like Western Branch is hoping to do tonight with Oscar Smith, with Shamik Blizzard running the ball. It's Naquan Washington Pierce, their ground game stud, and he's going to gain about 4 of those yards back that they lost on the penalty. So Washington Pierce over 30 yards tonight on 4 attempts, back in the lineup after missing some time. Handoff, Kempsville getting outside with Joyner. Gets away from one defender, and he's still going like a locomotive down the football field. Boom, boom, boom. Finally brought down by T-Bolt and a teammate, but not before Justin Joyner rips off a long run. That gives the Kempsville fans something to get excited about. As Joyner busts loose for a gain of about 34 yards to the Cox 47. Longest play from scrimmage on the night for either team. Running with some authority. Now Washington Pierce tries to do so between the tackles. This Cox defense wrapping up very well here to limit the long run from him. And once again, that stop made by their dependable linebacker, donning number 22, Max Palmerton, only a 10th grader. Washington Pierce gets only a couple on that run. maybe 3 if we're generous. So second and about, we'll call it a long 7, short 8. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the near side, and that one being Nathaniel Clark for new QB who's in for Kempsville. He's going to hand it off to Washington Pierce up the middle. We'll tell you about that new quarterback in a second. Remember, their starter Noah Lee is out with the wrist injury. Washington Pierce is brought down by the combination of Josh Walton, number 5, and Graydon Howard, number 75, junior lineman. Third and about 2 here as they take it to the 39 of Cox. New quarterback in for Kempsville, who's had moderate success this year when he's been in the game, is Sterling Homer, senior. Wearing number 15, he's going to hand it off and up the middle. Kempsville going to try to move the sticks with Joyner, who was stopped by Johnson. Looks to be right there near the marker on this 3rd and 2 play, and it's enough for a first down. To the 37. So Justin Joyner gains a couple. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line when we begin the second quarter. Cox with a 10-0 lead on the Kempsville Chiefs, who are driving. We'll come back with the second quarter action in just a bit. Let's hear from CHKD.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
And we're back here, second quarter action. Kempsville trailing Cox 10-0 at the 37-yard line of the Falcons. They're going to go to the air. It's caught by Karan Boyd. However, he's out of bounds on that long delivery from Sterling Homer, and there appears to be a flag on the play, as we'll see what that is. If it is an interference or a defensive penalty on Cox, it's going to be a hold rather on Kempsville that brings that one back here. We thank you for tuning into this Beach District football matchup. Got moved to the Sportsplex today due to the field conditions over at Kempsville, and we're glad you are tuned in here from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex, home of CHKD Sports Medicine, and also Chicho's Pizza bringing us this broadcast tonight, our title sponsor for this ball game. Run over and get yourself some fresh-made pizza at Chicho's, and that holding's going to back Kempsville up inside their own 45-yard line. Looks like it's going to be at the 43. So a huge loss, about 20. $62 yards and penalties on 6 flags. Long pass from Homer for his intended target, Clark, and it's incomplete. A lot of chatter down there on the field as the Kempsville air game has been a little bit handcuffed. Missing Noah Lee, perhaps. Trying to get things working well here. Second and about 25, looks like, from their own 43. Check that, 35 from their own 43 rather. Handoff this time for Kempsville as Palmerton's able to stop the running back for a minimal gain. That handoff was to number 2, Darius Johnson, the junior. He gains only a yard. So third and about 34, it looks like, from the 44 for Johnson. Late second quarter, Bayside 15, Princess Anne 6. Can tell you that Nan's Minerva has a 10-0 lead on Grassfoot early in the second quarter, and early second quarter Green Run up 14-0 on Tallwood. Rolling right, C.J. Spence on 3rd and long. It's complete to his target, but 2 Cox defenders are there right away to bring down Karan Boyd. The combination of Josh Walton and Max Palmerton keeping Boyd to a gain of only 4 yards. So punting unit back on for Kempsville as Hurst will boot it away. High arcer there, though. It's a good one. And it will be downed inside at about the 10-yard line. Right there is where we will see Cox take over. So 4th possession for Cox, coming with 10:06 to go in our second quarter. And it's going to be jumping off the right edge for Kempsville. An encroachment penalty. As Isaiah Cias was thinking sack. Isaiah coming in with 8 sacks on the year. He and Jashawn Miller-Arrington, who's got 6 sacks, have been the 2 bona fide pass rushing threats for this Kempsville defense. So up to 7 penalties now unofficially for 67 yards. As Kempsville shooting themselves in the foot with some miscues. Helping out a very disciplined Cox team that we highlighted has only turned the football over 4 times coming in. 3 interceptions, 1 lost fumble. Handoff to the left. Needing just 5 yards to move the sticks. And hit out of bounds. It's going to be a late hit as Riley McIntosh dumped Bubba Anderson when he had gotten out. So that's just going to hurt matters even more for the Kempsville defense as Cox got it up to the 18-yard line, it appears. 18 or 19. Anderson was maybe about a yard and a half shy of the first down, we think. Oh, they're going to say it's a hold on Cox, so hold on now. No late hit. They're going to mark that from the 18. And they're actually going to mark it, looks like it's further up from the 23 to the 13. Very strange. So we're looking at 1st and 7 from about the 13. But that's the first official accepted penalty on Cox tonight. Treffery waits for the shotgun snap. Cooper in motion. Gage Treffery rolling right. He will slide down. Tagged down by Johnson. Treffery maybe got a yard or back to the line of scrimmage. I think he got no gain officially. Second and 7 coming from about the 13-yard line for Cox. Three receivers to the left. I can tell you it's scoreless early in the second quarter. between Oscar Smith and Western Branch over there in Chesapeake in that Southeastern District showdown. Tigers have pinned Western Branch inside their own 5. Handoff for Cox. Anderson bounces it out left, and the Kempsville defense making a nice play, ready for it. Combination of DeJean Smith, the freshman, number 21, and number 10, Jay-Sean Miller-Arrington. We talked about him getting sacks. Well, he came in flying upfield for that tackle as they limit Anderson to only a pickup of 2. Kempsville defense having to step up tonight and bail out an offense that has been stuck in neutral for much of the night outside of that 34-yard gain by Justin Joyner and the 22-yard pass completion from Riley McIntosh to Riley McIntosh to Darius Langley to begin the contest here. So 3rd and 5 from their own 15 as we've ticked under 7:50 to go in the first half. Cox very patient and deliberate here on offense, and we'll get a timeout, it looks like. Is it an official's timeout or on Cox? No, it's going to be a delay of game. Oh, check that. It's going to be a penalty on Kempsville. Encroachment. Thought we might have gotten delay or a timeout. Instead, it's going to be on Kempsville, their 8th flag of the night for 70 yards and penalties, and that's ever costly because it's a fresh set of downs on penalty on Kempsville to give Cox a fresh set of downs at their own 20. So Cox playing keep away about as well as you can tonight. Three receivers now to the far side. This trips look as you got T-Bolt on the inside, Cooper in the slot. Treffry will run some option. The pitch is going to be a little wide, but that was a dangerous one. Could have been a fumble and a scoop and score opportunity for Kempsville. Instead, Johnson's able to quickly tag down Anderson for a loss of a couple. And quite honestly, that loss should be on the quarterback for an errant pitch. 2nd and about 12 from their own 18-yard line. One of our sponsors we want to thank for making this possible tonight. Vault Athletics and Fitness. The Vault Fitness facility is Hampton Roads' newest 13,000 square foot facility located in the Hilltop section of Virginia Beach, where they specialize in youth athlete development, personal training, small group training, and specialty fitness classes. Go check them out today, Vault Athletics and Fitness. 2nd and 12 for the Cox Falcons. Pass over the middle is going to be caught. Pulled in for a big gain. That is A.J. West with just his 2nd catch of the year for Cox. Up to about the 38-yard line, 20-yard completion. From the 38 now, quickly, Cox operating in the flat to Jordan Cooper. He gets to the 45 before he's met by DeJean Smith. Cooper gets 7. Check that, it'll be 8 to the 46. Suddenly, Gage Treffry and the offense going with a faster tempo, and it's working well here for Cox, paying dividends. As the 11th grade signal caller really performing with poise here after that near turnover. Coming into tonight, 55 of 107 through the air for 653 yards and 8 touchdowns. Off tackle they go with the running game. So much for missing your starting left tackle as Bubba Anderson's able to scoot forward and move the sticks for the Cox Falcons from the 46 to the 49 as they're knocking on the midfield line. The receiver to the right. Treffry's going to roll that way. With some protection from Anderson in the back. That one's going to be incomplete, out of harm's way. Does not do any damage for Cox here. A 2nd and 10 will be coming up from their own 49. Coming into tonight, Cox leading the all-time series over Kempsville, 28 wins versus 24 losses and 2 ties. Cox had won 15 in a row before last September. Kempsville's 20-12 breakthrough ended that streak, giving them their first win in the series since a 28-13 victory back in 2005. Back when it was Jeff McGowan against Steve Alasso, I think it was. Kempsville's had some coaching changes. For many years, Bill Stuchelski was at the helm of Cox, and then Alan Fenica taken over there last year. His second season at the helm. Was an assistant with Coach Stack. Screen to Jordan Cooper. He's going to get knocked out of bounds by Eisler, and there's the flag for the late hit. Right there, sideline. Cooper keeping his composure. As Kempsville has lost its head a few different times. Now another flag has been thrown by the officials. This could be on one of the coaches barking. And the Boo Birds are out, but that was a clear flag. As things getting a little chippy and emotions running high here at the Sportsplex. Let's see where they mark that play being down at for Cooper. I think he's only going to get about a 2-yard gain. They're going to mark it from the 49. It's going to go to the 34 if it's a 15-yard flag. And then a second 15-yard. Is it 2 flags? And then an unsportsmanlike. So from the 34 to the 19. My gracious. 10 penalties now for 102 yards on the Kempsville Chiefs. As they turned a 2-yard completion into disaster. So at the Kempsville 19 now with 4:53 to go in the first half. Cox with a chance to get a major boost here in a touchdown. Now, Kempsville gets the ball first, second half. They'd like to get the ball back, score, and then bookend that with another score to start the second half. But right now, what's got to be squarely on the Chiefs' minds is settling down, not losing their composure and their discipline here. Keep the score at 10-0 or force them to try another field goal. Rolling right from the 19 is Treffery. He's got some room to maneuver, and he will get out of bounds. As Jashawn Miller-Arrington brings him down. It's going to be Treffery for a gain of 4 to the 15. 2nd and 6 upcoming. So you look at the yardage tonight. Cox has 93 yards of offense. Doesn't sound like a whole lot. But Kempsville's given him 102 yards in penalties. Cox with, to our record keeping, just 1 infraction costing them 10 yards. And the offensive line doing yeoman's work up front. Johnson, that stud on defense, playing right tackle now. Up the middle, and that time the defensive line was able to force a fumble. Anderson had it, then lost it. It's going to be recovered, we do believe, by Cox. Couldn't tell in that scrum if he got it or one of his teammates in the trenches got to it. Looks like it went right back to the 15-yard line. Maybe a short loss. I think he might have lost about a yard. We'll call it no gain, though, officially. Six men on the line of scrimmage. We'll get a timeout here from Alan Fenica and the Cox Falcons before this 3rd and 5 play with 3:52 to go in the first half. Let's hear more about the Neptune Bowl, which comes your way in November right here.
College football only comes to Virginia Beach once a year. The Apprentice School Shipbuilders take on the top qualifying team from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference on Saturday, November 19th at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Stadium. Tickets to the game are just $20. Catch the game live at the only venue in Virginia Beach with legit tailgating. Tailgate starts at 10 a.m. Join us for activities, contests, and prizes. Get your spot today for only $50. Virginia Beach Neptune Bowl presented by DoubleTree by Hilton Virginia Beach. Kickoff at 2 p.m. November 19th at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Stadium. Visit app.gopassage.com for tickets today.
And we're back after that timeout from Cox. Earlier correction on that score, we said late second quarter with Bayside PA. It's Bayside 22, PA 6 in the second quarter. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Green Run 21, Tallwood nothing. And Oscar Smith strikes first with a 2-0 lead on a safety against Western Branch in the second quarter. Going up top, it's going to be a man being trampled for Kempsville defender. That's going to be offensive pass interference. I think T-Bolt just steamrolled the Kempsville DB. He ran over. Not sure that was his intention to just run him over, but he is a big young lad out there, and he knocked over his defensive counterpart in Clark. Would imagine it's offensive pass interference, and it is. What happens when a guy that's as large as T-Bolt, who's probably pushing, I don't have an official size, so if the T-Bolt family is watching this later, I apologize if I list him at 6'3", and he's bigger or shorter than that, but we do have Clark listed at 5'8", so there was a good at least 4 or 5 inches of discrepancy there. It's going to be the second flag now on the Falcons. And that's going to be a 15-yarder for the offensive pass interference. So that takes it from 3rd and 5 at about the 15 to 3rd and 20 from the 30. And what that does if you're Kempsville is that pushes them out of field goal range. We mentioned Braidwood's long being 26 yards, I believe is what we said. Yes. He's 2 of 6 on the year on his field goal tries. A perfect 34 of 34 on PATs coming in tonight. He made one to make it 35 of 35. And 2 down territory for Cox. If you don't score, you want to pin Kempsville inside its own 15. Screen's almost intercepted as Kempsville could see daylight with their big lineman who could not bring it in. That would have been a disaster for the Cox Falcons as Zaire Dargan, that 6'4" linchpin on the O-line, had himself a gift on the D-line, just dropped it at the last second. And Treffrey and the Falcon faithful breathing a sigh of relief before 4th and 20 comes up from the 30 here with 3:41 to go in the second quarter. Let's throw out another score right now as it is Salem 16, Kellum nothing with 52 seconds to go in the first half as Jason Scooter Williams found Jarrell Walton on a 50-yard touchdown pass. Extra point was blocked there over at Kellum High. Kickingham all over Hampton, 35-6 with 9:50 to go in the first half. Treffrey going deep, looking for West again. West almost hauled it in for a first down catch and more, but couldn't with the defender draped over him with solid coverage from Kempsville on that play. Number 22. We do have a flag. It's going to be a hold on, oh, they're going to say roughing the passer. I thought it was a hold on Cox. That's not good if you're a Kempsville fan. I was just giving some good kudos to Mayoy Godfried, but a roughing the passer on 4th and 20. Another penalty on Kempsville. And that one is a big one. So 1st and 10 at the 15 now after that 15-yard penalty. And we've got another timeout on the field here with 3:35 to go in the first half. We'll step aside as well here. It's a 10-0 lead for the Cox Falcons here at the Sportsplex. Let's hear from Zoop Eatery. And we're back here after that message from Zoop Eatery, one of the proud sponsors of our high school football action here tonight. And if you'd like to be a sponsor, like Zoop and Chicho's Pizza and so many others, visit beachsportsplex.com/streaming and fill out the contact information, and you won't be disappointed. Get yourself, your business, your enterprise a chance to team up with the great folks here with Nick Sentai, Chuck Thornton and company at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex with all the athletic events we have going on here. 1st and 10 now after that roughing the passer penalty, and the Kempsville defense a little angry about it as they bring them down quickly in the backfield. Bubba Anderson going nowhere as number 50 was right there in his face and in your space, Zaire Dargan. It's going to be a loss of 1, so the tackle for loss for Dargan. 2nd and 11 now from the 16-yard line. This is a Kempsville outfit that came in averaging 36.9 points per game. They have yet to score. And Cox's defense has been solid, and their ball control helping out the defense immensely. Jordan Cooper Hall's in the pass. Nowhere to go. In fact, it's going to be a loss of a few as the Kempsville defense read it well with Xavier Clark, that freshman phenom, coming forward to make a play. Great instincts. Going to be a special one for years to come in the Beach District. Loss of about 2 for Cooper, who's got 4 receptions for 36 yards tonight. Treffry is 6 of 10 for 63 yards passing. And it's going to bring up 3rd and about 13 from the 18-yard line of the Chiefs as we've hit under 2.5 minutes to go in our first half. Probably a field goal opportunity awaits the Falcons if they don't get this. Now, if they get about 7 or 8 yards, Coach Fanica, Tyler Noe, and the offensive staff could be a little tempted to go for it on 4th down. We have not seen Nathaniel Hackett or John Harbaugh tonight, if you're wondering. Treffry rolls right. Going to take off, it looks like, and get near the marker. Not going to be a first down as Jayshon Miller-Arrington chased him out of bounds. Only up to the 16-yard line, so a gain of about 2 for 4th and 11. But again, good decision-making by Treffry not to force it into tight coverage and turn the football over. Playing smart, mistake-free football are the Falcons. And from the 16-yard line, a 33-yard field goal coming up for the Falcons. This would be the long of the year, surpassing that earlier long of 30 for Braidwood. Sam Braidwood now to try to give Cox a 13-point lead with 1:52 to go in the second quarter. The snap and the hold are there. It's going to be blocked. I think number 71 got a mid on it. He did, as the big fella blocked the Braidwood attempt. Deacon Rawls, the 6'5" junior who transferred to Kempsville in the offseason from Tallwood. It was a great football player back in the day named Deacon Jones. And Kempsville hopes they've got one for the playoff run and next year in Deacon Rawls, who gets his mitt on that Braidwood field goal try. With 1:47 to go in the second quarter. Our guy James Timmons is a big fan of a song that involves Deacon Jones, but we'll leave that for another time, as it'll be Kempsville with the football from the 10. Incomplete pass as Spence could not connect with his receiver. It's actually not going to be at the 10. I think it's going to be at about the, we'll get the binoculars out here and double check where that yard line is officially. I think it's at the 11. But Spence is incomplete. Looks like the officials got it at the 11. Spence taking off, showing his athletic ability. He pitches it forward, but out of the reach of Karan Boyd. Incomplete. Spence not having his best of nights throwing the football, 2 of 5, but he is a young man with a lot of upside and talent and potential. Newcomer to the Kempsville Chiefs. Offers from such schools as Michigan and Florida State, South Carolina, Virginia Tech. A 6'3" corner. People love him on the defensive side of the football, as he blankets a lot of the better wide receivers around. At the half, it's Oscar Smith 2, Western Branch nothing. No touchdowns there, just a safety. We might have more scoring tonight in Game 1 of the World Series between Philadelphia and Houston than they have in that Chesapeake showdown, as the Bruins try to knock off the Tigers for the first time since 2003, back when Ryan Pond was quarterbacking. Right now, it's C.J. Spence quarterbacking the guys in blue, the Chiefs of Kempsville. His 3rd and 10 pass is going to be complete to Darius Johnson, the flat. He shakes a couple of tacklers, and Johnson to the 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Darius Johnson, can he find pay dirt? He's going to try to take it all the way to the 10. He's going to be knocked out of bounds inside the 10 by Dominic Thibault, but Darius Johnson racing up the field like a bolt of lightning. And that ignites the Kempsville fans and their sideline with 1:21 to go in the first half. So he is knocked out at the 5-yard line. 85 yards for Darius Johnson. You thought Nathaniel McDonald's play last week woke up some people for Atlantic Shores on that pick 6 he had. That certainly got the Kempsville natives that were a little restless and sleepy-eyed wide awake as they're inside the 10 at the 5 of Cox. Falcons had a chance to go up 13 or 17, and now Kempsville the chance to cut it to a 3-point deficit. They hand it off to their bulldozing running back, Naquan Washington Pierce. He's going to be marked short of the goal line, tackled by number 17 of Cox. Andre Cousins, who had that fumble recovery earlier, just a 1-yard pickup for Washington Pierce. C.J. Spence fakes him out and goes left and will hurtle into the end zone. Touchdown Kempsville with 23 seconds to go in the second quarter. And Spence, the talented 10th grader, who's actually listed on my roster sheet at 6'5", even though his Twitter bio says 6'3". Maybe he's 6'4". We'll cut the difference. Regardless of how tall he is, his Chiefs are on the board with 6 points and now an extra point try to make it a 3-point game. Holder will be Sterling Homer. Snap is down, hold is through, and Morgan Hurst remains perfect on the year on PATs. We got a couple of good kickers in Hurst and Braidwood, and that's going to be a touchdown for Spence and an extra point with 23 seconds to go in the first half. It's Cox 10, Kempsville 7. Let's hear from Dollar Bank.
Earn $300 with everything checking from Dollar Bank. Then do your thing.
And we're back. Here at the Sportsplex. 10-7 lead for the Cox Falcons on the Kempsville Chiefs, who are awake now after that big play from Darius Johnson to set them up. Kickoff from Hurst. Jordan Cooper will let it roll into the end zone for a touchback. And Cox, you feel like you've controlled field position. You've outplayed Kempsville almost thoroughly in this half, and you're only up 3. And guess what? The Chiefs get the football first to begin the third quarter as the tide has swung in a major, major way. Will Cox remain patient on offense as we move into the second half? Or will they get caught up in the emotion a little bit and let Kempsville's big play strike ability, which we just saw with Darius Johnson and C.J. Spence connecting, to ignite them? You know, Karan Boyd is salivating to touch the football for Kempsville on offense. The Duke commit, and Naquan Washington Pierce, as this thing moves into the third and fourth quarter, will be the chain mover. And that bulldozer, Treffrey takes a knee. as that'll be a loss of about 2, and that'll run the clock out here in the first half. So we've reached halftime here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. It is Cox leading Kempsville 10-7. Matt Hatfield here with you. We got a good one here in Virginia Beach. Buckle up for the second half. It'll come your way shortly, but we'll step aside for a little bit. You'll hear from some of our sponsors here of the Sportsplex action that we have here from football and field hockey and soccer, and we'll come back in a little bit with some halftime scores around the area. Stay tuned right here on beachsportsplex.com and on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, smash that subscribe button with Virginia Beach Sportsplex. It is Cox 10, Kempsville 7 on a Friday night in October at the Plex.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like the new guy picked up lunch. Went with the new DQ signature stack burgers menu. That's nice. A lineup of bold flavors like the flamethrower signature stack burger and loaded A1 signature stack burger. It's a total of 5 premium burgers that are anything but boring. So you can make an impression.
Am I gonna get reimbursed?
Like a really good impression?
I got it. Lunch is
New guy just became burger guy. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
Earn $300 with everything checking from Dollar Bank. Then do your thing.
College football only comes to Virginia Beach once a year. The apprentice school shipbuilders take on the top qualifying team from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference on Saturday, November 19th at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Stadium. Tickets to the game are just $20. Catch the game live at the only venue in Virginia Beach with legit tailgating. Tailgate starts at 10 a.m. Join us for activities, contests, and prizes. Get your spot today for only $50. Virginia Beach Neptune Bowl presented by Doubletree by Hilton Virginia Beach. Kickoff at 2 p.m. November 19th at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Stadium. Visit app.gopass.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
Real and imagine as they speedily journey from one end zone to the other in 100-yard foot race of epic proportions. First one across the finish for the team.
All right, back here at halftime, Matt Hatfield here with you as the Cox Falcons lead the Kempsville Chiefs 10-7. Getting ready to see the Kempsville band with their halftime performance and give you a chance to listen to that, and then we'll come back with some scores after that. But again, our broadcast tonight presented by Chicho's Pizza. It's more than a pizza over at Chicho's. And they're one of the many sponsors making this broadcast tonight possible with our athletic events from high school football to soccer and field hockey and so much more at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Check out our YouTube page at Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, wherever you are on social media. And visit beachsportsplex.com/streaming for more. We've got a little bit of a race now with these mascots. I think the cow's not going to win, nor is the dinosaur. A lot of fun here a few days before Halloween at the Sportsplex. Well, we got a moment before they start performing. Let's give you a couple of halftime scores that we have across the area. Kickingham 35, Hampton 6 at the break over at Darling Stadium. Rasan Arzola with a 2-yard touchdown reception from Mike Myers. The very groovy Mike Myers. Ben Bermudez's extra point is good as Bayside leads PA 37-12 late in the first half. Private school action, Catholic up 21-7 on Portsmouth Christian. Salem 16, Kellum nothing at the break. Warwick 3, Menchville nothing at the half. Hickory leading Great Bridge 21-0 at intermission. Oscar Smith 2, Western Branch nothing in the showdown over there. 95-yard drive before the half for Brandon Williams' Stallions behind quarterback Kevin White. They lead Tallwood 28-0. Late in the first half over there, James Spence with a 16-yard touchdown run as Lafayette leads Pocosin 21-7 with under 3 minutes to go in the first half. New Kent 35, Jamestown nothing at last report after 1 quarter of play in the Bay Rivers District. Chesapeake action at the half. It's Indian River 13, Deep Creek 7 as the Braves score with 51 seconds to go in the half over there. Indian River in Region 5A along with Cox and Kempsville as well as Green Run, Salem, Bayside, all teams that will be in the postseason. Right now, Green Run's the number 1 seed at the moment. The winner of this game has the inside track on the number 2 seed. Loser probably going to be the number 3 seed when the playoffs begin in November. Salem and Indian River battling for the number 4 seed. Braves, if they were to lose tonight, could drop all the way down to 6 where Bayside is. And a battle for 7 and 8 pretty much down to the likes of Tallwood, Hickory, and First Colonial in Region 5A high school football action. So we'll now pause and give you a chance to listen to the musical entertainment here at the half at the Sportsplex.
Let's hear it one more time for the Kempsville High School Marching Band.
So you heard the Kempsville High School Marching Band, which has been decorated for many years, going back to the 1990s when Bill Pease led that award-winning band. So they've certainly had a lot of following and great success for many, many years with the musical halftime entertainment here. Kempsville trailing Cox 10-7 at the break. We'll step aside and come back with the second half in just a moment. Let's hear from our title sponsor tonight, Chicho's.
College football only comes to Virginia Beach once a year. The apprentice school shipbuilders take on the top qualifying team from the Old Dominion Athletic Conference on Saturday, November 19th at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Stadium. Tickets to the game are just $20. Catch the game live at the only venue in Virginia Beach with legit tailgating. Tailgate starts at 10 a.m. Join us for activities, contests, and prizes. Get your spot today for only $50. Virginia Beach Neptune Bowl presented by Doubletree by Hilton Virginia Beach. Kickoff at 2 p.m. November 19th at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex Stadium. Visit app.gopassage.com for tickets today.
And we're back here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Some halftime numbers to pass along for you as we get ready for the third quarter. So far, Kempsville with 101 yards passing at the half, 74 yards rushing for a total of 175 yards. Cox with 63 yards passing at the break, 27 yards rushing. Gage Treffery for Cox, 6 of 10 for 63 yards passing. Jordan Cooper with a touchdown reception from Treffery. He's got 4 catches for 36 yards. Tom Thibault with a reception for 27 yards. A.J. West with a 20-yard grab as well. Bubba Anderson has 9 rushes for 18 yards. For the trailing Kempsville Chiefs, who score right before the half, set up on an 85-yard reception by Darius Johnson. Darius Langley has a 22-yard catch for them as well. On the ground, Naquan Washington Pierce with 40 yards rushing on 7 attempts. And Washington Pierce coming into tonight on the season had 959 yards, so his next run that's positive will get him 1,000 yards for the year. Quarterback C.J. Spence, he's 3 of 6 for 84 yards passing. He's also got a touchdown run tonight from 4 yards out. Andre Cousins with the fumble recovery for the Cox defense. The blocked field goal from Deacon Rawls for Kempsville. And that's where we're at here with about a minute and change before the second half gets underway. Our game brought to you by Chicho's Pizza. And we're streaming live on beachsportsplex.com. 21 days, 13 hours away from the Virginia Beach Neptune Bowl. College football only comes to Virginia Beach once a year. And it's going to be November the 19th when you can tailgate at 10 a.m. right here outside the Sportsplex before a 2 o'clock kickoff with the Apprentice School Builders and the top qualifying team from the ODAC. The Virginia Beach Neptune Bowl again Saturday, November the 19th, presented by Doubletree by Hilton, Virginia Beach. Should be a fun one here. Right before Thanksgiving, enjoy some college football action here from the Sportsplex. A venue that has long been the host of many memorable playoff games, going back to when Lancetown made their run to a state championship about 18 years ago. Ocean Lakes has had some great playoff games here on their way to a state title. Bayside, its region championship, was played right here in 2010 when they beat Oscar Smith in a thriller. Salem has had some great playoff battles over the years when Robert Jackson led them to the state playoffs and a regional title. Sun Devils have produced stars here, and tonight we've got ourselves some future stars of college football with the Cox Falcons and Kempsville Chiefs. Karan Boyd is committed to Duke for Kempsville. Jordan Cooper's got multiple offers, including from Norfolk State. I believe VMI has also offered him for Cox. Gerard Johnson, a junior, who's going to be one to watch out for in the years to come. Two terrific coaching staffs. Alan Faneca, a Pro Football Hall of Famer who played at the highest of levels for the Cox Falcons, and Darryl Cherry, who has orchestrated one of the best turnarounds in all of Virginia in high school football. A longtime assistant coach in the area. Green Run, Tallwood. His wife, Ebony Cherry, coaching girls basketball on the beach for years, and the Cherry family producing winners. Darryl's got himself a very good Kempsville team trying to keep the winning streak going to 8-1 as they'll get the football first to begin the second half. Here on the turf. I want to thank again our hardworking team tonight, Jeff Fatma and Spencer Kane on camera, and James Timmons working the graphics, Nick Sentai steering the ship from afar. And if you're not watching live, you can tell your friends and family, those that do tune in, you can always go back and watch this broadcast later. So if you missed last week's Atlantic Shores Fredericksburg Christian game, or you missed tonight's Kempsville Cox game, you want to go see a highlight play, it'll be available later up there on the YouTube channel and at beachsportsplex.com. Little squib kick for Kempsville to begin the second half as they have it. And we actually apologize. We thought it was going to be Kempsville ball to begin the second half. I mislabeled it on my sheet here. It's actually Cox football. They had their first possession at the Kempsville 42 with 9:26 to go in the first period after Kempsville had that first completion. So it's actually Cox football to begin the second half. Got all twisted around there. And the Falcons start at their own 35. Gage Treffery completes the pass to the far side. Dominic Thibault with a mean stiff arm. And he's going to get it right there near the first down marker. It's going to be marked about a yard or two short. Thibault gets it just a couple yards shy of the first down marker. Call it a gain of 8 for Dom Thibault. Treffry now 7 of 11 tonight for 71 yards. So 2nd and 2 from their own 43. As the Cox Falcons have it. This great playing surface. Handoff up the middle. Not a lot of running room for Cox on the ground there, but it's just going to be enough for Bubba Anderson to move the marker to the 45. 20 hard-earned yards on 10 attempts for Anderson. Since 1965, the AstroTurf has been driven by forward-thinking ingenuity, and today AstroTurf continues to improve its system designed to deliver playing surfaces with the most realistic sports-specific performance, longest-lasting durability, and sound player protection. AstroTurf. We're here tonight because the game originally scheduled at Kempsville due to some field conditions got moved to this beautiful turf at the Sportsplex, and avoiding the rush is Gage Treffry. Throws it down the field for Jordan Cooper, who makes a leaping reception. No, he doesn't. He can't hold on as he hits the ground at the last second. Great effort from Cooper, though, as he skied high. The young man for Cox trying to get up and pull in a sensational catch, and his landing prevented it, so incomplete. But Cox taking some shots down the field when they're there. However, it's going to be a penalty on Kempsville. They got flagged 11 times for 117 yards in the first half, and that one going to be a 15-yarder as the trend continues. 40-yard line now of Kempsville. Cox has it. I can tell you Deep Creek has just found the end zone to take a 14-13 lead on Indian River with 6:49 to go in the third quarter. And a key game in Chesapeake, Deep Creek in 5A, or check that, Indian River in 5A, Deep Creek in 4A. The 40-yard line. Treffry rolling right, tries to sneak it into Cooper, and it's intercepted by number 23 for the Kempsville defense. That's none other than the freshman. Check that, that's the senior, Jermaine Bland. Jermaine Bland with the INT. And the first turnover of the night for Cox. Just their 5th of the season. So with 11:02 to go in the third quarter, Kempsville takes over at their own 30-yard line. Spence's pass is going to hop and be incomplete as he could not complete that quick toss to his intended target, number 3, Darius Langley, who had that 22-yard reception to begin the game. Long pass for Spence, looking for Riley McIntosh, and it's deflected, but caught by McIntosh. Diagonally, he races from the 25 to the 20, inside the 20. Tackled down by number 13 of the Cox defense, William Vincent. But Riley McIntosh with a spectacular grab against the senior Vincent. And they've got it at the 15-yard line. "45 yards for Riley McIntosh. Incomplete again. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Chiefs.
So this is an area where Kempsville can use the ground game to really try and demoralize this Cox attack, although they've been kept to 92 yards rushing. Kempsville usually averages upwards of 250 on the ground. Split backs now with Spence handing it off to Karan Boyd. Boyd's got some room to run. He bulldozes and powers over, trucking the defender and Cooper, who has to hold on for dear life on the leg area to the 4-yard line. 11 yards on that run for Karan Boyd.
On that play is a Kempsville first down. First and goal.
Karan Boyd, we mentioned in the first half near halftime he was going to be anxious to get a touch. And now McIntosh out of Wildcat quickly gets bottled up. And that was number 17 dragging him down, Andre Cousins, as McIntosh loses about a yard on that. Second and goal from the 5. This is where, if you're Cox, you're looking for those two impact defensive linemen, Aiden Manning, number 50, the senior, and Gerard Johnson, 51, the junior, to really get involved here and make a play. Although I don't believe I see Johnson out there on this play, unless he's moved. He has moved to the right end side. And we've got movement up front of that Kempsville O-line. Looks like the right side had some movement. The trench mob, as they affectionately have dubbed that unit. They're actually pointing towards Cox, saying there's some movement on Cox, and it does appear it's on Cox who jumped first. And that's going to mark it half the distance to about the 3 to make it second and goal from the 3. Is it Snooty time? No, Spence gets the snap, nowhere to go. And that's going to be a negative play, a little indecisiveness on Spence's part, as he's run into by the likes of Andre Cousins and Max Palmerton, numbers 17 and 22 respectively. That's going to be a loss of another few yards here, back to the 6. So from second and goal at the 3 to third and goal at the 6. Is this 2-down territory for Kempsville? You certainly think it would be. They go with the jumbo package. The big boys up front behind Washington Pierce, who's going to ram his way towards the goal line, and he's in for a touchdown. Naquan Washington Pierce. He busts over the 1,000-yard barrier for the season on that run. And for Naquan Washington Pierce, it's his 16th rushing touchdown of the season. .8:23 to go in the third quarter in Kempsville, which was down 10-0 and could have been down by as many as 21 points as they gifted Cox 3 opportunities inside the red area. They now have the lead 14-10 after Morgan Hurst's successful extra point. We'll step aside and hear from Dairy Queen here at the Sportsplex.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like the new guy picked up lunch. Went with the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. That's nice. A lineup of bold flavors like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger. It's a total of 5 premium burgers that are anything but boring. So you can make an impression.
Am I gonna get reimbursed?
Like a really good impression?
I got it. Lunch is
New guy just became burger guy. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
And we're back here at the Sportsplex. Matt Hatfield here with you. Kempsville with a 14-10 lead on Cox with 8:23 to go in the third quarter. Chiefs going ahead on that 6-yard touchdown run on third and goal from Naquan Washington Pierce. Set up by the spectacular 45-yard grab from Riley McIntosh. From QB CJ Spence, the dribbler is going to be fielded and Dove on at about the 31-yard line from Cox's number 25, Braden Lyons, the sophomore. So down as many as 10 points. Kempsville has a 14-10 lead here with 8:23 to go in the third quarter. That will actually take just a second off the clock. So Cox now with its second possession and badly needing a long drive here, time-consuming one, to thwart the momentum of the Kempsville Chiefs, who are certainly feeling a lot better about themselves than they did, 30, 40 minutes ago in real time. Treffrey trying to overcome that interception. Hand off to Bubba Anderson. Dumped quickly by Darius Johnson. Will they put Jordan Cooper in the backfield for some running plays is an interesting thing that you wonder about here. As Anderson gets 3 yards on that run. To bring up 2nd and 7 from the 35. The Cox offensive line going to need to reassert itself against this Kempsville defensive front. Hand off to Anderson on 2nd and 7. Kempsville's defense right there for him. Jashawn Miller-Arrington and number 6 in on that initial contact, Isaiah Cias. And he'll lose a couple. Back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like. 3rd and 10. And the wind picking up here at the Sportsplex. That doesn't help the passing game on this chilly October night. We told you it was going to dip under the 60 degrees that we pretty much opened the game under. Treffrey looking to his left. Tosses it down the field for T-Bolt. T-Bolt tries to make a spectacular grab like McIntosh's, but can't hang on. Incomplete. 2 defenders in the vicinity, and it looks like a Kempsville player is down hurt. We'll check on that in a moment, who that injured player is. In a lot of pain as a couple of the Cox coaches kneel over to him to try to offer him some words of encouragement. Looks like he's holding his right leg. That defender for Kempsville, who I do believe is Karan Boyd. Let's hope it's nothing more than just a cramp. So while Boyd is being checked on, let's pause and hear from CHKD Sports Medicine.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
Earn $300 with everything checking from Dollar Bank. Then do your thing.
Welcome back, and Karan Boyd able to walk off under his own power here with 6:52 to go in the third quarter, and Cox punting after that incomplete pass. 14-10, the Falcons trailing Kempsville now, and that punt going to be fielded at the 30-yard line by the Chiefs. Looking to wiggle his way forward for a big gain is going to be Riley McIntosh, who picks up about 16 on that return on the kick. I believe that was, didn't quite tell if that was Bryson Woodholm or Sam Braidwood on the kick there for Cox.
be first and 10, Kempsville at the 46-yard line.
So Kempsville's going to have it here with 6:38 to go in the third quarter at their own 46-yard line. After what was probably about a 17, 18-yard return there for McIntosh. Two receivers to the right of the quarterback. McIntosh playing some Wildcat QB, hands it off to Justin Joyner, who had a big run earlier in the first half. He's going to be tackled by a couple of Cox Falcons defenders. Looked like T-Bolt was in on that stop along with Josh Walton, number 5. Joyner had that 34-yard scamper that really ignited Kempsville in the first half when they were pretty dormant. No yards on that one as you hear the wind whipping now. Handoff to Darius Johnson. He's going to be brought down for a short pickup as the Cox defense with another firm stop. And on that stop, number 17 for Cox, Andre Cousins. Only about 4 yards for Johnson on that run. Third down and about 6. And trucking his way forward for Kempsville. Is that another new ball carrier? I think it is. That's the quarterback. Sterling Homer with the keeper. And there's an injured Cox Falcons player who's down. But Sterling Homer will keep it right here. Dom Thiebolt is the one who's being stretched out. I think he caught a cramp in his right leg area. So another big gain there for the Kempsville ground game. From the 46-yard line out of a 3-receiver split back formation. And Thiebolt able to walk off for his own power. After Johnson got 4 to get to the 50. 5:07 to go in the third quarter.
First and 10 for the Chiefs.
Homer
37-yard line.
getting 13 on that run. They hand it off to Washington Pierce. Tries to muscle his way forward for a few more. Aiden Manning in on that along with Walton. Looked like it was a gain of 3 for Washington Pierce. Call it 2nd and 7. Kempsville like nothing better than a long drive here to salt things away. Big Chesapeake showdown tonight. Oscar Smith up on Western Branch 2-0 as they begin the fourth quarter over there in Chesapeake. We'll pass along more scores as we get it. A very important third down coming as the Cox defense holds strong here on Washington Pierce. Looked like that was Cousins again on that stop. As Andre's been everywhere on defense. To hold Naquan Washington Pierce to no gain is no small task. Cousins has delivered. And we're not talking about the one that doesn't always deliver on Monday nights, the professional ranks. We're talking about the one that's performing well here on a Friday night in high school football action. 3rd and about 7 for the Chiefs. 2 receivers to the near side. Boyd will motion to the right, give him 2 to the right, and McIntosh gets the snap, almost bobbles it. He squeezes away from Gerard Johnson and a diving Max Palmerton, and McIntosh gets to the 30-yard line to make it a 4-yard pickup for him. So 4th and a long 2, short 3, we'll call it. From the Cox 30-yard line, and they're not punting, they're keeping the offense on the field here. This is power football time. See where this long drive potentially leads them if they can convert this. Fumble by McIntosh. He loses it. Johnson almost scooped it up. Looks like a Cox defender did get to it. And Cousins coming away with his 2nd fumble recovery of the night. McIntosh fumbled it forward. Had Kempsville gotten on top of it, would have been a fresh set of downs and a 1st down, but the 2nd lost fumble of the night. 2 playmakers that are very, very good for Kempsville. Riley McIntosh, who's got 6 interceptions this year, the junior newcomer who played previously at Ocean Lakes, and the sophomore C.J. Spence, arriving from Chesapeake in the offseason. They've produced some big plays, but that turnover gives an opportunity now for Cox to dig back into this game. Could be a momentum-changing play here with 2:33 to go in the 3rd quarter as the Falcons take over at about their own 28-yard line, we'll call it. Falcons hand it off. Fumble by them, but they're able to get back on it. Near disaster for Bubba Anderson, who loses a couple. Anderson's got 13 rushes tonight for 18 yards. They've not had as much success going off tackle as they did in the first half. Got our first final in of the night. King William beating West Point as the reigning Class 2 state champs defeat the Pointers 48-0. Rolling left is Jordan Cooper on 2nd and 12. Jordan Cooper trying to scoot to the outside. Good diving stop from the defense. As we call out that 9th grader again for Kempsville, Xavier Clark. Not letting Cooper break off a big one. Looks like a Falcons player is down in pain. And that might be Cooper. So we'll check in on that injured Cox player in just a moment. We'll step aside, though, and hear from CHKD Sports Medicine.
Nobody cares for more young knees than CHKD Sports Medicine. Our specialists, surgeons, and physical therapists work together to develop treatment and training programs that get young athletes back up to speed safely with the strength and confidence they need to stay in the game for the long haul. CHKD Sports Medicine. Care today to last a lifetime.
Earn $300 with everything checking from Dollar Bank. Then do your thing.
So the injured Cox player still being checked on here with 1:30 to go in our 3rd quarter. Cox jumped out to a 10-0 lead on the Kempsville Chiefs. Kempsville has responded with 14 unanswered here, including a touchdown before halftime and 1 after intermission. Third and about 13.
3rd down.
The 25-yard line for this Cox offense. Gage Treffry rolling right. He's going to be sacked. The duo of number 36, Omarion Ward and Isaiah Cias. Bringing down Treffery for a loss of 6. Again, 63 yards passing at the half, 27 yards rushing for the Falcons. And it looks like young man has caught a bit of a cramp there, down injured again. Another Kempsville player in the green shoes. Looks like that is Cias, who just had that sack. He's able to be helped off the field here. A lot of cramping up here in this chilly weather as it went from fairly decent weather, almost on the warmer side. At least it was the last couple of days, so now it's getting colder with that wind whipping here at the Plex. I want to remind you that you can revitalize your property today. Shine Time Power Wash and Paint Professionals, your turnkey solution for all power washing and painting projects. They've got years of experience in both residential and large-scale commercial settings. Punt return now from McIntosh as he gets it near the 40-yard line of Cox. Will have to be hesitating backwards, and then the ball comes loose after he is tackled down. Following that nice punt by the Cox Falcons, Sam Braidwood. So the third quarter comes to a close here with the Chiefs in Cox territory trying to maintain and possibly build their 14-10 lead. We'll step aside and come back with the conclusion on this final Friday of October 2022. Who's got the tricks? Who's got the treats? 3 days away from Halloween. Keep it tuned right here to your place for high school football streaming action, beachsportsplex.com.
Well, what do we have here? Looks like the new guy picked up lunch. Went with the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. That's nice. A lineup of bold flavors like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger. It's a total of 5 premium burgers that are anything but boring. So you can make an impression.
Am I gonna get reimbursed?
Like a really good impression?
I got it. Lunch is
New guy just became burger guy. DQ, happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
And we're back here at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Matt Hatfield here with you. We've got Spencer Kane and Jeff Fatma on camera tonight. James Timmons working the graphics, pushing the buttons, turning the knobs. As the Cox offense, 91 total yards tonight. 1 total yard in that third quarter. And Kempsville operating it here, trying to play some keep away here as we begin the fourth. Quick pass from Spence over to his near side receiver. Tackle made by the duo of 13 and 17 on number 3. That's William Vincent and Andre Cousins tackling the Kempsville receiver Darius Langley, who began this ball game with the first play from scrimmage, a 22-yard reception. And Langley gets about 3 yards on that, his second catch of the night. Spence up to 5 of 10 passing for 132 yards, settling in after the slow start, especially receiving some snaps. Naquan Washington Pierce on 2nd and 7, gonna pound his way up the middle, up the gut, Mike Allstott style. Washington Pierce up the gut. Gonna be tackled by Aiden Manning. Third and about 3 here, and we're gonna get a timeout from the Cox defense as D coordinator Brian Graham and head coach Alan Fanica want to talk it over with their guys in the white shirts while they have a moment. We'll keep it right here with 10:52 to go in our contest. to that 4-yard run from Snooty, Naquan Washington Pierce. Gives us a chance to tell you about another one of our sponsors here tonight of high school football action at the Plex, and that's John's Tax Service, a proud community supporter and sponsor of local youth sports, providing tax preparation and retirement planning services. John's Tax Service and JPM Financial Services have been serving all of Hampton Roads for more than 20 years, and they're the best thanks to you, John's Tax Service. So coming out of that timeout, Kempsville looking at a 3rd and 3, going to have 4 receivers here. The shotgun snap coming for C.J. Spence.
3rd down for Chiefs.
Spence throwing it deep down the field. Dominic T-Bolt blanketing the receiver that was intended for, and that was Karan Boyd, incomplete. So 4th down coming up for the Chiefs on offense. So 4th and 3, Kempsville gonna go for it, leave the offense on the field. Keeper was Sterling Homer. He's got room to run. 1st down and more. Breaks the tackle of T-Bolt, and Sterling Homer showing the toughness, the moxie. There's a flag on the play on the Cox defense, I think. Might have been a helmet-to-helmet hit. But Homer on 4th and 3. Coming forward in a big way, and we've got an injured Cox player down here with 10:35 to go after Kempsville was able to move the sticks to the 15-yard line, a pickup of about 18 for a Homer. 2 very big runs for him for 31 total yards tonight. And you see a Cox player down in a lot of pain, banging the turf right now. So we can catch a number on who that is in just a moment as he's being looked at by the medical staff of the Falcons. The flag has been waved off as the official tucks the pink hanky back in the pants there. We talked about it last week at the Atlantic Shores Fredericksburg Christian game, a lot of the pink laundry with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That is Dominic Thibault, we can tell you, number 3 for Cox, who's been a real integral 2-way performer for them this year and helping out in a big way to their 7-1 start as he's being checked on. Falcons down by 4 after building a double-digit advantage in the first half. Some scores to fill you in on around the area. Late 3rd quarter, Green Run 56, Tallwood 6. Stallions up by 50 on the Lions in that one. Nansmanor with a 37-0 lead on Grassfield late in the 3rd quarter. Lafayette up 28-7 on Pocosin with 3:40 to go in the 3rd period. Indian River's up 7 on Deep Creek, 21-14 with 1:01 to go in the 3rd period. Bayside up 44-12 on Princess Anne midway through the 3rd quarter after a Jordan Henderson touchdown run. Salem leading Kellum 30-0 early in the 4th quarter, and early in the 4th quarter, Hickory 36, Great Bridge nothing. Hawks trying to help their chances of qualifying for the playoffs in Region 5A. End of 3 quarters out in Southwest Virginia. Glenville leads undefeated Radford 24-20 if you're following the Highlanders and the Bobcats like I know my man James Timmons is. Working on our graphics tonight. I want to thank him as well as Spencer Kane and Jeff Fatma on camera, giving you all the angles and shots tonight of this Beach District matchup. So from now the 15-yard line of the Falcons, Kempsville will keep it on the ground and not get much room to run, as that was Justin Joyner on that carry. Stuffed by Walton and a big fellow wearing number 75 for the Cox Falcons. And that is Graydon Howard, a junior lineman, who certainly has the frame for the next level. Only an 11th grader. So back at the 15-yard line for no gain on that one for the Chiefs. Remember, they put it on the carpet the last possession as they were in the midst of a long drive, trying to finish this one off with points to extend their lead of 4 points. Sterling Homer keeping it. Going to lower the shoulder and use the boom on the Cox defender that tackled him, William Vincent. But that was 13 on 13, or check that, 15 on 13. As we've now got some rain falling here at the Sportsplex. And about the 11-yard line, after Homer's pickup of 4. Can tell you that it's been a good one back and forth with Deep Creek and Indian River. They're now tied at 21 all with 9:31 to go in that contest. That could have ramifications, and we could see one of these two teams play them in the first round, the Braves of Indian River. That pass is almost intercepted by the Cox defensive back, number 13, almost hauling it in. That is William Vincent, incomplete, as Homer tried to thread the needle there. With 8:49 remaining, 4th down and decision time for Coach Darrell Cherry and the Chiefs. What do you do here on 4th and 6 from the 11? You bring out the kicker, just like John Harbaugh did last night with Justin Tucker against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not once, but twice. Depend on Morgan Hurst. Hurst's field goal, no good, as the Chiefs miss a 28-yard field goal with 8:45 to go. And Cox will take over. So with 8:45 to go, Cox takes over. And they now have a chance to put together a drive that could give them the lead and possibly win the game. Handoff, and you hear some pads hitting and some thumping as Bubba Anderson runs into that defensive wall of the Kempsville Chiefs. Tandem of Isaiah Cias and Carlos Eisler Jr. in on that stop. Maybe a yard there for Bubba Anderson. Light rain continuing to fall here at the Sportsplex. Rolling to his right, Gage Treffery completes the pass to Jordan Cooper, hauls it in right there near the first down marker. I think he's got enough for the first down. Excellent job of rolling right by Treffery, and even better from Cooper to bring it in and stay in bounds. Saw him go down earlier. It's a 9-yard pickup, and I believe that's the first catch of the second half for Cooper, who's up to 5 receptions for 45 yards. Right at his average for the night. And running all the way over from almost the other side of the field is Josh Walton for Cox to get in the backfield as we tick under 7.5 minutes to play in this good battle here in Virginia Beach. The two big games this week going into the wire. Oscar Smith up 2-0 on Western Branch with under 8 minutes to go, and it's 14-10 Kempsville trying to hang on to this 4-point lead on the Cox Falcons. Snap goes away from Treffery, who gets back to it, but that's going to be a loss back to the 20-yard line. Actually, the 21 they'll mark it. Loss of 10, and that one really hurts you if you're Cox here, because it takes the run out of the equation a little more than you'd like here with under 7 minutes to play. So they could be looking for Thibault or Cooper on a vertical shot real soon here. Treffery gets the shotgun snap. And nowhere to go, he's sacked. That Kempsville defense getting to him. Once again, it is Omarion Ward, the 6'1 senior defensive end. Second time he's been here on a sack in this half. And that'll back the Falcons up near the 10-yard line, right at about the 11, it looks like. Another loss of 10, so third and about 30, a mile to go in this rain that's picking up a little bit for the Chiefs and Falcons. They try a deep shot. It's going to be picked by Raleigh McIntosh at the 31-yard line. McIntosh makes a guy miss. Backwards he goes, hesitation, and it's going to be a takeaway that could allow Kempsville to really salt this one away. Riley McIntosh with his 7th interception of the season. Tops in the Beach District in that category. It's really been neck and neck between him and Aaron Evans of Bayside all year long in that battle for most INTs in the Beach. Milt Ferguson of Green Run not far behind either. So inside the Cox 25 for Kempsville, 5:42 to go. And CJ Spence back in at quarterback. He'll get outside and be brought down out of bounds. Tackled by Alex Davis, sophomore defensive back for the Falcons. Spence with a healthy great gain there to about the 18-yard line. Give him 5 yards. 2nd and 5 now. Now the wire in Chesapeake. Indian River has the ball at their own 48 with 2:37 to go. The Hornets and Braves tied at 21 apiece. Oh, bad snap. Gets away from CJ Spence, who fortunately dives on it. And diving on him to make the stop for Cox is number 55, Mason Cheatham, a junior. It's a loss of about 14 yards for Kempsville, taking them from 2nd and 5 to 3rd and 19. As they just can't put away this pesky Cox Falcons bunch. We can tell you one score has been put away. That's Nansemond River, a 37-2 winner over Grassfield tonight. War Hill beating York 32-7. Churchland leads Manor 28-0 as they begin the 4th quarter. Phoebus had a 29-7 lead on Gloucester at the half. And it's Green Run 63 Tallwood 6 with 5:40 to play. As the Stallions continue to average over 47 points per game in style, might be up to about 50 PPG when this night is over, or more. CJ Spence rolling right on 3rd and long. His pass is going to short hop his intended target, Karan Boyd, who is back in the game. Good to see after going out earlier. Coverage by Andre Cousins on that one. So incomplete. 5 of 12 for 132 yards tonight for Spence. And with 4th and 19 from the Cox 32 with 4:25 to go, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, much like Utah coach Kyle Whittingham was last night. If you watched that Washington State game, I know you were watching it, James, as was I. Utah putting it away on the West Coast around 1 in the morning on the Eastern time. He decided to go for it, little pass play, and they got it. Darrell Cherry not in field goal range, not really want to punt it. It's not going to help you much. You'll leave the offense on the field. What you don't want is a negative play to give Cox the ball back near midfield and a chance to beat you with a touchdown. So here is Spence, gets the snap, rolls to his right. Protecting the football, he gets the screen off, but there's a good defensive play read well by the Cox defense as Darius Johnson, who had that big screen earlier, he's going to be brought down for a loss as Mason Cheatham read Johnson and that screen that hurt them earlier in the game for 85 yards. And Cox will take over with the chance here with 4:16 to go. They'll have the football at their own 38-yard line. So that ends up being a loss of 6. You didn't want to lose 5 or more yards, and they did on that. Mason Cheatham making a huge defensive play. That TFL. Can the Cox offense put a 62-yard drive together? They'll need a huge chunk play to do so. They give it to Jordan Cooper on the end around. Cooper gets forward, not as many yards as he would have liked. He's going to be brought down by Jay-Sean Miller-Arrington. So he gets to about the 41, 42-yard line for Cooper. Just his 4th carry of the night. We'll put it at the 42. Actually, just a gain of 3. We'll say at the 41. They bumped it up to about the 38, 39. Little toss out to Cooper in the backfield. He's going to be hit again by Miller-Arrington near the 45-yard line. We'll put it at the 44. It's a little shovel, little screen pass, if you will. Third and about 4 here. Got about 3 on that play. Nine of 16 for 83 yards for Treffry tonight. Under 3 minutes to play. Cox has to pick up the pace considerably here, as the Kempsville defense is very content to leave them with these 3-4 yard small bites on offense. Thibault and Cooper are their home run hitters, especially Cooper. They hand off to Bubba Anderson, not going anywhere as it's read beautifully by the Kempsville defender wearing number 36, Omarion Ward. D-end outside backer hybrid making the play. It's going to drop Anderson for a loss of 4. Bubba Anderson opened the night with 16 yards on 4 attempts. He's been held in check to 15 yards rushing on 15 attempts. So you do the math, his 11 subsequent runs have lost a yard. Kempsville's defense doing wonders. It's a final out in Chesapeake. Oscar Smith 2, Western Branch nothing as we watch this 4th and 9 play. Treffry, nowhere to go. He's going to be almost sacked. Pressure by Isaiah Cias, incomplete, they'll say, at the 40. And Kempsville will take over with 1:45 to go and the opportunity to run out the clock and come away with a hard-fought, come-from-behind win by the same margin that they beat Salem 14 days ago. This Cox defense, which has been valiant all night long, they've given up 7.8 points per game during this 6-game win streak that followed their 36-7 loss to Green Run back on September 1st. And they gave themselves a chance tonight. Almost held Kempsville scoreless for the entire first half, and what a battle this has been. We got more scoring than that game in Chesapeake did with Oscar Smith and Western Branch that went final 2-0 Tigers. If you had that on your bingo card, my goodness. We mentioned Nansemond River beat Grassville by 35 tonight. Might be headed for overtime in Chesapeake with Indian River and Deep Creek. No, they're not. 22-yard field goal with 10 seconds to go as Indian River takes the lead to break the tie. (24-21) Indian River beating Deep Creek, it looks like, unless the Hornets can run a kickoff back. And Kempsville now in victory formation as the Chiefs will run out the clock to move to 8-1. Nope, they're going to run it with Daquan Washington Pierce. Cox may have a timeout or 2 left in the cookie jar as Washington Pierce will march forward And that will be the timeout on Cox. They've got about 1 or 2 left.
Timeout by Cox.
So Cox will burn that timeout here with 1:35 to go. And we'll take a quick timeout and hear from Chicho's Pizza. Get yourself a pizza this weekend from Chicho's, a proud sponsor of our high school football action from the Plex tonight. Another run play here on 2nd and 6. Washington Pierce will inch forward for another yard or 2, probably 2 on that. And I think Cox used its final timeout. That's either the last one or they could possibly have one more remaining here with 1:31 to play. Go online to onelifefitness.com and claim a free trial pass. Get your new membership started today at any one of the 8 convenient locations across Hampton Roads. One Life, One Inspire Life. They're here to help you start your journey to being fit. And walking off a little gingerly there for the Cox Falcons is number 55, Joe McGowan. Check that, I'm sorry, Mason Cheatham rather, Mason Cheatham. So from the 45-yard line, 3rd and 5.
Third down for the Chiefs.
Handoff this time to Joyner. He's going to try to rumble his way through there into traffic in the middle behind that trench mob. He is near that marker, and they're going to say first down, Kempsville Chiefs. 5 yards on that run for Justin Joyner, which will allow the Chiefs to run out the clock here in style and get the win.
Runs on Kempsville, first down.
They're going to run it with Joyner again as opposed to taking a knee. I'm not quite sure why. They can just run the clock out at this point. And it's going to be a flock of Falcons tackling Joyner down inside the 15-yard line at the 13. I'm not quite sure what the logic was in that.
Kempsville, first down.
So at the 13, and being tripped up is another ball carrier. That's Joyner again. That's going to do it. The Kempsville Chiefs tonight win it over the Cox Falcons 14-10 to move to 8-1 overall as they come from 10 points down to get the W. The running game got going in the second half, and Kempsville prevails. 126 yards passing from C.J. Spence. Naquan Washington Pierce with the go-ahead touchdown on a 6-yard run. Falcons drop to 7-2 overall, while Kempsville ups its record to 8-1 on the season. Want to thank again our entire team, from Jeff Fatma and Spencer Kane on camera to James Timmons on graphics. I am Matthew Hatfield saying thank you for watching this edition of Beach District High School football tonight from the Sportsplex in Virginia Beach. Nick Sentai as well, thank you to him as Kempsville gets it done. 65 yards rushing from Justin Joyner, 59 from Naquan Washington Pierce. Sterling home with a couple of big runs as well. Riley McIntosh with a 45-yard spectacular grab, also his 7th interception of the year. And Darrell Cherry's Chiefs will close out the regular season next week at First Colonial with a chance to go to 9-1 and bring a 9-game winning streak into the playoffs, while Cox drops to 7-2 before they finish up the regular season at Kellum. Until next time, we thank you for watching this edition of high school football action from the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Keep it tuned to beachsportsplex.com and our YouTube channel at Virginia Beach Sportsplex. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Chicho's Pizza. So long, everyone. Thank you for watching.